All right, we are live. Oh, hey, what up, Mike? Mike in the chat. How you doing, buddy? You all right? So this is a new thing I'm doing, and admittedly, part of it is because it makes it faster to do a video on a movie. So chalk it up to laziness. But I'm gonna wait a few minutes, see if anyone piles in here. If not, I'm just gonna fucking just do this like a regular video, which is basically what I'm doing. But people who had seen the mystery movie that I picked out, if they want to hang out and chat and discuss theories on the movie and all that, then that is the added benefit of doing this live. Which, Mike, you've definitely seen this movie. There's 2 hints in the chat, which I went back and forth on which movie to do here because I thought of one right off the bat. Then I went, no, this is a better one. And I picked that, and I was right up to this morning because then I thought, shit, it's not really streaming anywhere. Like, in case someone doesn't want to watch along. Said, yeah, you gotta like rent it. So I said, that sucks. Then I just last minute switched it to this, which is a movie that is not that well known. So who knows how many people have seen it. Always forget to mute that. And it is on Tubi, which doesn't help Mike because they don't have Tubi in Britain still for some reason. All right, what year? I'll narrow it down by year. 2009, right at the end of the decade. At the end of the aughts. Aughts, knots, whatever the fuck it's called. That's right. I'm gonna have to listen to it with this through here. Yeah. And then tomorrow, hey, look at that shit. I'm gonna delete that just in case someone else comes in, just because you got that shit way too fast and good. Good guess. Good guess, Michael. That didn't take you fucking long at all. That's what I mean. Like, it's the type of movie that those who have seen it, they'll know right away. But it's not that well known or talked about or seen or anything like that, which is disappointing because it definitely deserves to be talked about a lot more. Because this is an excellent post 2000 slasher film, and we don't hear about it. I was originally going to do Psycho 2, and that's the one that's not streaming anywhere. So the only way was for me to like rent it off Amazon, which I don't mind. But if someone wants to watch along, they can't do that. So I said, screw it. I'll change it to the current one. Fender Bender? I have not seen Fender Bender. Hey, what's up, Philip? How you doing, man? Good to see you. How was Fender Bender, Mike? Philip, this is Mike. I don't know if you know Mike, my boy, the Real Fifth Beatle, but he has great content, Philip. I'm usually weekly streams. I'm like a fixture there. So, Philip, do you have any guesses for what film this is that I'm going to be watching and talking about? Mike got it real fast, so I had to delete it because I said that way too fast. I think I've heard of Fender Bender, Mike. There's a lot of movies from like the 2010s to now that I just glossed over completely. I can't wait to do that list, like our 2010s to 2019 list. Like that, the 2010s were great for horror, like really, really good, better than the 2000s. So it is a late 2000s slasher, and had a villain. I'll narrow it down this way too. There is one sequel only to it. It has a villain that could have become a slasher icon if people actually talked about this fucking movie and saw it. Video tasties. Avoid safety end. What's up, Garrett? How you feeling? You over there cold? You better be. I don't want people fucking sick in my thing. Hey, Care Bear. Thanks for stopping by on work break. All right, another hint. He has a skeleton type mask. That's like almost giving it away. But it was going to be Psycho 2, right until up this morning. And I said, oh shit, it's not like free to stream anywhere. No, it's not fucking Terrifier, Gareth. Hey, Chris. Everybody say hi to Chris. This guy has been like one of my earliest subscribers and with me like from like 2 months into my channel. And I think this is the first live stream that you caught of mine, Chris. That is awesome. But as always, Chris, thank you for supporting the channel like you have been since the very beginning. Hey, man. Nice to see you. All right, I'll give it at that since now 2 people got it. Yes, Gareth. Chromeskull from the Laid to Rest movies, because Mike was the first person in here, and he just guessed. He's like, "What year?" I said, "09." He said, "Laid to Rest." I said, "God damn it!" I said, "I'm deleting that shit." Hey, Nanette, I just said it is Laid to Rest from 2009, which is such an underrated slasher film. And that I feel if it was released maybe 2, 3, 4 years afterwards, like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, the latest, it would have blew up like Terrifier did. Because this movie has excellent kills in it. Like the kills in this movie are like pretty much on par with Terrifier. They're just not like over the top, like cartoonish over the top almost, like Art does his kills. But man, like a few in particular, but like the practical effects in this movie and the kills are absolutely phenomenal. Hey, Sean, what's up, Sean? So if anyone wants to watch along as I watch and talk about this, it is on Tubi. I will post the link in the chat. So there is a Tubi link. Since everything has a Tubi, except for you Brits, it don't work for you because you don't have Tubi. If for some reason they don't have Tubi over there, it's driving me nuts. Makes me want to call Tubi and complain. Yo, I got friends over there, man. I got people who need you. Like, get your Tubi ass over there. That's what I got to do. One of these days. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Like 09 was just not the right time for it. Like I feel like if it would have been like 5 years later, then it definitely would be more remembered and talked about a lot more. And I feel like Chromeskull could have became like a slasher icon. So we don't have many. We got 2. But to my knowledge, and I bring this up all the time, Art the Clown and Victor Crowley from Hatchet. That's it. And I mean, the last time we had a Hatchet movie was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So it's been forever for him too. And we need more slasher icons. But if anyone wants to watch along in chat, let me know, and I will hold off on putting it on. But has anyone seen this movie besides Gareth and Mike? I'm guessing Sean's seen it. Sean, you've seen Laid to Rest, right? Oh, and I bet you will, man. You have an extensive knowledge of horror. I'll definitely pick them. I was saying I had Psycho 2 as the one I was going to do, like for the last week up until right this morning. And I said, shit. I said, it's nowhere to like rent. I mean, to stream for free. So I can't do that. So I'll pick one on Tubi. Man, watching Laid to Rest from 2009. It is a awesome, not talked about nearly enough slasher film. It is on Tubi. And tomorrow, don't miss hilarity as it unfolds. My boy Dave has never seen Basket Case. Again, all 3 of them. So tomorrow and the next 2 Wednesdays, he's going to be on the channel, and we're going to stream all 3 of them. So the first one tomorrow, then next week, second, and the third. So that is going to be hysterical, because he doesn't know what he's gotten himself into, like, at all. So that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is early for me, but it's normal time for him. So Mike did the stream. Yeah, no, we had to reschedule it. We were all looking forward to it. 9 p.m. Oh, is this 9 p.m. for you? Yeah, this is 9 p.m. for you. Yeah, I'm going. This I'll do every week. I'll be doing around now, like around this time, since it works better. Oh, brain damage. Yeah, that's a great one too. With picking like movies for this, when I first thought of this idea last week, I said to myself exactly this. I said, and Garrett said that, I think said the same thing when I was talking with him. Like, as long as like people know the movies, I was like, yeah. And I'm saying like, like I'll keep it like out of like foreign horror and stuff like that. I'll do one eventually, like an Argento or something. But so yeah, that's right. So then I did Psycho 2. I thought on until I realized you couldn't stream it anywhere, and I said I can't pick that. And then I just land on a totally unknown, like not totally, but a really unknown, underrated, underseen slasher film from the 2000s. So yeah, I followed that advice, Gareth. That's Brain Dead is my favorite zombie movie of all time. Peter Jackson. I might want to do like a live stream watch of that movie, like in any context, like in any way, just a stream watching Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. That would be absolutely awesome. Yeah, we should be next Sunday, right, Mike? Oh, all right. Yeah, I just saw your other message. Yeah, we will let everybody know about that stream with our 2000s, with which mine don't watch my video. It leaked. I had a leak on my channel. I scheduled my video for my top 2000s movies, horror movies, for right after the stream would have ended with Mike and Dave and Alexi and Professor Macabro. And then we had to cancel it, and I forgot that it was scheduled, so it's out now. But just don't watch it if you don't want it spoiled for the stream. I'm not going to take it down and then put it back up. So that it's there. Let me check what's I'm losing chat. Carrie Fox. Now, I want to hear some people's favorite. I'd say 3 favorite slasher films from the 2000s, like 2000s to 2009. Which luckily this made my 2000s list. It was right at the edge. Yeah, maybe Mike got in there and let it out early, the video. No, fuck you. I want to see your list now. My top 30 slasher list, Carrie didn't even know I was talking honorable mentions still, like a half hour into the video. I mean, it is top 30, so, and it's slashers, which are my favorite, so it's going to be long. All my other lists I've been doing, which I've been having a lot of fun with. Is anyone enjoying those lists? Because I got another one like for later tonight. I'm having fun doing those, and I've never usually been like a list person, like top this or top that. I'm having fun actually, like racking my brain and going through all this. Where, man, on Tubi? I just posted the link that'll take you to Tubi. Here it is again. But because slasher films from the 80s slashers at that. So like the bread and butter. So I had like 15 honorable mentions plus the 30 on the list. And I'm getting near the other honorable mentions. And I was like, this isn't even the list, like, because it was a premiere, so in the chat, and like, oh, this is still honorable mentions. That was so funny. Urban Legends was, I want to say 99. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was 2000, 2001. I'm looking it up now because it's going to annoy me, even though I don't really care for that movie at all. Any of the slasher, well, quote unquote slasher films that Scream ushered in, I do not care for. But Urban Legend is the one, like, out of the I Know What You Did Last Summers and like Halloween H2O and all those Scream followers that I like Urban Legend a decent amount. Not like crazy over it, but it is good. What year is this shit? 98. Probably has the answer someone came up with already, but whatever. Yeah, 98. The Cell, as in not Cell, Chris, like Stephen King's Cell with the phones, right? The Cell. I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a long while. Yeah, Carrie Valentine is great. Like me and Sean just rewatched that, like right before Valentine's Day or right around it, and that's like one of those few like Scream follower slasher films that I've always liked too for some reason. And both of us like really liked it, like even more than we remembered. Like we were watching, the lighting is great in that movie. And Valentine, which you would not think in the movie Valentine from 2000 whatever, as a slasher film. Like damn. Yeah, Phil. Like I'm not big on like. Well, one, I'm not a Scream fan at all. I don't know if you know that, but like at all. That's why when I'm in like Steven and Knight's chats and stuff like that, like I come just to like talk to you guys in chat and to support their channels and stuff because you know they talk a lot of Scream. Like I just can't with Scream, and like everything that came out after Scream, like the sequels. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and those sequels that are terrible, and Urban Legend, and everything with Williamson's name attached to it, basically, which Urban Legend he wasn't, but that was a type of movie that Scream ushered in. All of those I usually do not like. But Urban Legend is not bad. And Valentine is probably my favorite out of all of those, like post-Scream slashers. Yeah, Scream lives rent-free in my head. It does. I can't get it out. Help me. All right, so if anyone is going to watch this, I know May, you were asking for, you couldn't find it. I sent you the Tubi link in the chat. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have respect for the Scream series, like just for doing what it's done. I just like, you hear a lot of people that argue like Scream saved 90s horror. Not for me. Like I did a kind of a video on this and linked a video of a friend whose channel I've been following for years, Sinister Cinema Reviews. If you guys aren't subscribed to Jason and Kaylee over there at Sinister Cinema Reviews, that's a phenomenal channel. It was like the only channel I was watching for like years on end, and partly inspired me to make this channel. So I might not have a channel if it wasn't for Jason. Like awesome guy, and he's like another like big slasher guy too. You remember, man? Did you find it? Did it work? And coincidentally, my friend Jason doesn't like. He's not a Scream fan either. So I don't know what it is like, but I have a lot of unpopular movie opinions when it comes to horror. Like, I don't like the Blair Witch Project, but I adore Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. I don't know. Texas Chainsaw 2 is my favorite in the franchise. Slumber Party Massacre 2 is my favorite in that trilogy. H2, Rob Zombie. I adore that movie. I'll keep going. I don't care for Scream. Like, I got a lot of opinions. Like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. My favorite in the Nightmare series. So good. What do you say, Mike? Oh yeah, Jason from Sinister Cinema. Yeah, we had. That's why he was the only channel I watched for years, because he was right up my alley with like opinions and thoughts on movies and shit. Like he's the same way with a lot of what I just listed, like weird, unpopular opinions. He has a lot of those same ones. He loves Blair Witch too, also, like a lot. Actually, I'm hoping when I get Berlinger on the channel, which should be now looking at like early, like the end of the spring, because I just talked to his assistant again. I might do it on Jason's channel because I've been keeping him up to date about it, because he said I got a million questions for Joe Berlinger. I would love to, because he adores Book of Shadows too. So I might do it on his channel just because it's much bigger. and there'll be a lot more people who can see it. Yeah, Bill Paxton. Who was I just thinking of Bill Paxton? Like, The Frailty. That's a movie. That's a great movie that you don't hear talked about anymore. With him and Matthew McConaughey. It's like what, 2001, I want to say. Oh, Gareth, you know that's you and me sitting in that tree. Don't you worry. I'm not cheating on you, baby. Every time I think of that friggin' Puppet Master thing you did, that edit. All right, so I'm getting discombobulated. So is anyone going to watch along, or I'm just going to talk through it like I usually do? It's like a live, normal video of mine, but the added aspect that you people get to talk about it. Shit. Dude, when did Tom Sizemore die? That ain't good news. Oh man, that sucks. He's great and everything. All right, cool, man. You're watching. Yeah, Frailty is great, Gary. Like I never hear that movie. That was on my honorable mentions for the 2000s top movies. Couldn't really put it on the list. I mean, it's not like a full-on horror movie, but great movie. Yeah, what? Oh yeah, that's cool. House on Haunted Hill. I haven't seen that in a while too. I would like to rewatch that. Carrie, are you gonna watch? You're at work. That's right. You're on break. All right. Well, man, I'm gonna start it. So I'm just gonna do like a countdown. So like, tell me if you're ready, and then I'll push play. Like at the same time, I'll go like 3, 2, 1, go, and on go that means play. Tom Sizemore Bengals. That's funny. Early in her prime, lucky bastard. Yeah, he's lucky. I've always liked Sizemore. May 3, 2, 1, yeah. This is directed by Robert Hall, which I don't know by name, like his name, anything else he's directed. Now I'm interested. Always interested when I see a movie, rewatch a movie by a director, and I don't recognize something that he's done besides that. Oh. I want to hear some top favorite slashers from the 2000s in chat. Let me know some of your favorite slashers from the aughts. Robert Greenhall. I don't think he's done much, honestly. Yeah, no, he hasn't done much, which is what I figured. He did a web series he was a producer for and directed, Fear Clinic, that had Robert Englund. That's cool. And then the sequel to this, right? Yeah. So he didn't do much. He should do more because I fucking love this movie. No, it's not found footage. I like found footage, but it's very hit or miss, like very, very, very. Which actually I am gonna have later tonight up a list of my 20 top found footage films. So it's funny you brought that up. So I will have definitely good ones on there that if you haven't seen, you can check out, because I know a lot of people who don't like it because of this fucking just camera all over the place, and, which is definitely in a lot of those type of movies for sure. But like there are some gems that are some lesser known ones that are great. Yeah, them, the French movie, Mike? If so, yeah. Yeah, right, Phil? Like it's hard, like to remember slashers. Like that's why I say Victor Crowley from Hatchet and Art the Clown are the only two iconic slasher villains that we have post 2000. That's crazy. Like there's a whole bunch of, terrible made movies like Tubi films and stuff, like Z grade movies. But yeah, I figured you meant do not. I was hoping so mid rant there, because I was like, well, I kind of hope he meant to now, because if he does, then none of what I'm saying makes sense. Yeah, High Tension is great. except I mean, the twist is kind of stupid. Like when you think about it logically, because some of it makes no sense. Like even the way it's explained, it makes no sense and it's stupid. But it's great. The rest of that. Excuse me, dude. Can you imagine being buried alive? That's got to be the worst. I got reminded of that when I saw VHS 99 when it came out. They have this segment there of the girl getting has to stay as a prank or like initiation to her sorority. This girl has to get in a coffin and stay buried with the dirt on top and all that shit overnight to be in a sorority. Come on, man. I mean, I get it. People want to be accepted, want to be liked, and you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to get down into an actual grave with a casket and get in it and have dirt shoved on top of it and leave me down there for any amount of time. A minute. No. Like, never would happen. Yeah, The Collector was a good one. And didn't he have the sequel, The Collection? There's supposed to be like a third one too, and I don't know what happened with that. That's a great movie, Chris. I just thought of that when I was doing my top of the 2000s list because I'll use like other lists and like Wikipedia that shows like horror movies of each year just so I don't forget anything. And I passed that. And I said, oh, Identity. And I said, it's not like really a true on, like full on horror movie. It's more like a psychological thriller, but I love that movie. Coffin. Oh, yeah, I know. Coffin. He's in the coffin. Maybe it's because I've had to bury a lot of coffins. New Yorker. Got the mob over here. I might be doing that whole series soon, Sean. I was thinking about it the other day. I said, hey, wrong turn. And I was talking to some actress, some low name, like not known actress, but she was in Wrong Turn 6. And I said, would you want to come on? She's like, oh, I'd love to come on and talk about it. I said, all right, cool. And that was like 2 months ago. So I should probably get back to her. Yeah, my New Yorks. I don't know why I'm coughing. Probably the weakest thing about this movie for me is her the performance of the lead girl in this. It's not that great. It's not terrible. I mean, for a slasher movie, it's not bad at all. Coughing. Yeah, that's because you're like upstate New York. Like I'm right in Long Island, right by the city. Which you can tell the difference between any like a Manhattan accent versus a Brooklyn accent versus a Queens accent, like all of that. That's completely different accents. Yeah, I haven't seen the sequels like in so many years. Like I think that they only made 6, right? They didn't drop another one on us, like, and I forgot and never knew because I know they made that newer one like 2 years ago or so that had nothing to do with like Wrong Turn at all. Like it was like an organization or some shit. I don't know what that was about. That was weird. It wasn't terrible, but it's not Wrong Turn like at all. Foundation, I think it was like called the Foundation. That makes sense also then. What's up, Professor? No, I'm not sick. I was just coughing a few times for a random reason. No, I'm not getting sick again after that COVID shit. Yeah, that's what I thought. 6 in the remake. The remake was so weird. Again, not terrible, but just weird. Like, not a Wrong Turn movie at all. That's because we're the best New Yorkers. Those West Coast accents. Hey, you're insulting Stevie right now, which making me actually remind me of him. Like, I haven't heard from him in a few days. I got a message. I just love the look of Chromeskull in these, and these are movies. I didn't see these movies back when they came out. Like, I saw these recently, like pretty recently, like 7 months ago, 8 months ago. Like, I did not see these when they came out, which even goes to show there how under known these movies are. This and the sequel, like they like glossed over them. I heard of them, and I never saw them until recently. I remember is it in six, Phil, when he has the barbed wire on the chick's neck and like they decapitate her with the like barbed wire they're hanging around her neck, like that looks gnarly. I'm pretty sure it's that. Pretty sure it's the sixth one. Cool. Yeah, Mike Professor was going to join us on Sunday, so whenever we reschedule that for, he's got his list he was working on. Yeah, something like that, right? Like you mean like the first original Wrong Turn? That sounds right. Maybe I didn't look into the new one that much. It just was not like I don't like that when movies release with the same title, like it's supposed to be part of that series or a remake, and then it has nothing to do with that series at all. Like Black Christmas 2019, that abortion of a movie. Like, oh, that movie is so bad in every way. Like, that might be one of the worst films I've seen in like a decade or more. So terrible. Has nothing to do with Black Christmas. I love this main dude who like helps this girl throughout this whole movie. Forget the actor's name, but he's awesome in this. Yeah, it was written by franchise creator Alan McElroy. The remake. That's wild. Hey Val. Good afternoon to you. Good to see you, as always.
I woke up in a dead box. And a man tried to get me.
Okay, that was the fourth one with the barbed wire decapitation. That kill is awesome. Like I don't remember which one it's from, but I remember it's awesome. Like that's a cool kill. I don't really remember any of the sequels past the second one. Didn't the second one have Henry Rollins in it? Rollins, whatever the fuck people pronounce his name is. Echo, Echo, my boy Echo here. Echo, we were watching and talking about Laid to Rest from 2009, plus all the random stuff like you would expect with me. Yeah, Eliza Dushku. Yeah, she was sexy in that movie. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Nice to see you, Haunted. I was just saying that these are such underrated movies, like Laid to Rest and Chromeskull Laid to Rest too. That like slashers are my favorite subgenre of horror. Like I'm a slasher guy, and I didn't even see these until very recently. Like these are not talked about at all. Professor. Phantom causes male toxicity. Oh, dude, that movie was like insulting, like personally insulting. Like I was being attacked. Like like it was so bad. And then they have the balls to upright steal one of the greatest jump scares in a movie from Exorcist 3. And they just blatantly rip that shit off, like no care in the world. Like that movie has more in common with Exorcist 3 because of stealing that jump scare than anything to do with Black Christmas. Like except that it's Christmas time. That's it. Like that's it. And the whole movie is just the propaganda, just shoved down your throats and beaten into your face over and over again. I love the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, Chris. I don't know if I call it a slasher film. I kind of group those as their own like rape revenge movies, like Last House on the Left and stuff like that. That's right too. I've been talking to the screenwriter for Saw 4, and he also worked on I Spit on Your Grave 2. So hopefully I'll have him on in the future. Yeah, that also makes sense, Mike. I mean, I didn't know how many people would show up just because it's like 4 o'clock on a fucking Tuesday. I love how like caring this couple is that takes this main girl in. I forget her name, like usual. But like they're so nice at first. Like after like they do have like a little husband and wife argument about her, like having her stay there because she's saying that she was being attacked by this guy. But they're like so nice to this girl that it's almost to the point that you start to suspect that something's wrong with them. Like they do a really good job of that. Yeah, Carrie, that's the question. Good memory, Echo. She's rebelling. Yeah, I know. Usually the punishment from the channel would be ostracized, just kicked from the channel, but it's Carrie. We all love Carrie, so we can't do that. But watch the movie. That's a series I wish I would do now. Like, because I can't like glance at like the first 2 months of videos on my channel. I can't. Like I just like I don't know. Probably haven't gotten any better, but I still I can't look at them. And that was like the first major franchise I did was Evil Dead, and long as shit like usual, like an hour and talk on each movie, and like the behind the scenes stuff, and like I love Evil Dead so much. It's one of those few franchises that have yet to fail me in any way. So I'm hoping that Rise is good because Evil Dead 1 is fantastic. It's a classic, amazing. The second one is in my top 10 films of all time, Evil Dead 2. And Army of Darkness is fantastic. The TV series was fantastic. Everything is fantastic. The remake is one of my favorite remakes from the 2000s onward. I've heard from many people that it's looking really good, so I'm hoping so. Because I don't watch trailers and stuff, so for anything, so I have no idea how it looks. I've seen like one picture of like a Deadite, and that's it. It looked good. Hey, at your boys. Oh, and hey Dan, sorry I missed you. Just catching up on chat. Yeah, Philip, exactly. When they're being like way too nice, like to the point of like it's all right, like lay your head down and rest, or like drink this tea and shit. Next thing you know, you wake up and you're chained to a bathroom. Like that's how they seem. Like even though they are like real nice people. Apparently, singles, getaway is still a thing on the commercials here. So if you guys are single and you want to get away, go to Fuck Island, go to Sandals. Tubi told me. Gotta let you guys know. Yeah, Mike, that's honorable mention on my list. That almost made the list too. Like so close to making the top 10. Dead by dawn, dead by dawn. We'll swallow your soul. We'll swallow your soul. That whole movie is fucking fantastic. there's one kill coming up in this movie that's in particular. It's just, it looks fantastic. It looks so good. Except, yep, everybody seems to be. Yeah, that's why Val, the first thing when I thought of when I heard of Evil Dead Rise was Demons 2, the movie, the Italian horror movie by Lamberto Bava, because it's the same exact concept. It's just demons in a high rise. So as soon as I heard Evil Dead Rise when it was announced, it says so like Demons 2 basically, but remade and like Deadites. Can't go wrong with that if that's what it turns out being. Oh, get out of the corner. No one's allowed in the corner. Why can't I think of this girl's name? Lena Headey, that's her name. All right. The main girl in this. Yo, his knife looks badass, May, right? His knife is so cool in this. Like, he should be a slasher icon. Like, people got to really talk this movie up and see this movie and talk about it. Because if it was released 5-6 years later, like, it would have blew up like Terrifier. Because the kills are on par with Terrifier. I'd even say better, like, than the first Terrifier, because you get more kills in this. That's right. Join the Deadite side. Yeah, with someone better, because that's a must watch. So somebody better get on it. This movie has a decent amount of twists and turns in it, also, which I like. Oh, this sucks with his wife. Yeah, that knife is so big. That knife looks fucking awesome. I'm sure it hurts, girl. I feel you. That's such a cool shot. He like points his knife over at her, like when he says, "What do you want?" Points it at the main girl. I love the remake, Sean. I think it's great. Ooh, that kill looks gnarly, man. Oh, that shit looks awesome. Girls hang out like on the side, and he just stabs her in the side of the friggin' temple, and her mouth's still moving and stuff. Awesome kill. I haven't seen the director's cut of the remake. Dude, I didn't even know there was. Oh, Army of Darkness you're talking about, yeah. I love both endings to Army of Darkness. I don't know. Both endings are both equally funny to me. Yeah, I know, man. They're just classic movies. And like, if you haven't ever like listened to or watched like behind the scenes thing on any of the or all the Evil Dead movies, they are such fun watches. Like, so much fun. Like, just hearing about Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi's best friend's relationship. Like, Raimi used to, like, he would whisper, like on Army of Darkness, he would like whisper to his like DP and be like, "Watch, I can get him to do anything." And then he'll call out to Bruce and he'll be like, "All right, I'm gonna need you to dance, like line dance with these 5 skeleton girls." And Bruce like, "You serious?" And Sam's like, "Yeah, I'm serious." And he'll go and do it, like 4, 5, 6 takes of it. And Sam isn't planning on using this footage at all. And then he just like whispers down to his DP. He's like, "See, I told you, I can get him to do anything." Like, that's how he was with him all the time. Like, would fuck with him all the time with Bruce Campbell, because they were just like that close of friends. Like, that's so awesome knowing that. Yeah, I feel like we wouldn't have gotten that line if it wasn't for that ending. So I might slightly prefer that one too, and the S smart and everything. But I do like the he slept too long ending, where it's just British landmarks and stuff, and the world's like done. I slept too late. This kill right here. That kill looks fucking fantastic. This guy's just talking to this man girl in the car, and the knife just comes flying out from the screen into view and just right through his face. And then he like brings the knife up and stuff and like cuts the top of his head off. It looks fantastic. Like if people could say that doesn't look on the level of Terrifier right there, I don't know what to say. Like that's like Terrifier level kills right there. Thank you so much, Carrie. Oh yeah, Sean, I love Drag Me Down. That made my list, my 2000s list, top 10. Fucking love Drag Me to Hell. I did a video on that one too. I love that movie. That's one of the few movies that are PG-13, and I don't have an issue with it. Like when you really think about like everything that happens in Drag Me to Hell, is there really anything that you feel is missing because it doesn't have an R rating? It's really nothing that I can think of like to add to it that would have made it better and also make it R. Like I feel like it's a perfect PG-13 movie. Yeah, man, that stuff is brutal, right? Right there. That kill is so brutal. It looks awesome though. The effects work is so good on that. Have you ever seen Terrifier, May? Or Terrifier 2? Or both? Oh, I said Chromeskull just for the rebuildability of him, and I don't want to ruin anything for like the second movie for people who haven't seen it. But he has things at his disposal. The collector has the traps, sure, but just like don't go into a building with him. You know, don't go into a fucking building near this guy. You know he has traps. Like stay right in the open, like a friggin' mob meeting in the desert. I just stay right there. No issues with the traps. So I give it to Chromeskull just for that. Yeah, no, exactly. Like these are so underrated. Oh, the tree rape, yeah. Well, this been 3 out of the 4 Evil Dead films have a tree rape scene now. So I wonder if we'll get another one in Rise. Like that's what everyone looks forward to in an Evil Dead movie. Do they have the tree rape scene? No. Oh, this movie sucks. Can you imagine people being that crazy? I can, like easily. Yeah, see, May, that's the fun part about my channel. When I do stuff on Tubi, cover movies and do videos of movies on Tubi, I include the commercials in there. I give you the full experience. So every time it's a film that I'm watching on Tubi, I plug some commercials in. Tubi should be paying me. I like this like little guy too. This little guy. I mean, he is. He's much smaller than the other guy. Kind of reminds me of Steve Buscemi a little bit. Oh yeah, my videos. I'll be randomly like I'll be talking like and making a point about something in the movie, and then the next cut is like if you're like old and about to die, you need Colonial Penn life insurance. Like and then like one more if you need a new car, and then like right back to the movie talk, but like batting an eye or like I never said anything about commercials. Oh, for sure not. My channel's never, ever, ever like lower than NC-17 probably. It's the best one for it. Actually, it might just take a minute. Yes, as do I, Hatchet Boys. I liked Art when I first saw him in All Hallows Eve. That was a movie I did see when it first came out. I said that clown is fucking awesome. And then a few years later, when he got his own film, Art, and got Terrifier, I said, awesome decision that they made a movie for him. And now look what it's turned into. Do you suspect or know of illegal terrorist or criminal activity? Oh yeah, that's right. You enjoyed that other one, right? I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, that girl's getting fucking. You guys need insurance for your cars today? Tubi told me to tell you. This guy really reminds me of Steve Buscemi, like a very young version, like kind of like Steve Buscemi in Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, in the Mummy story, the first one. Yeah, you picked up on that. I couldn't remember for a second. Incantation, yeah, that was those are some of my best, my most viewed videos. Like that was like one of the first like videos I did like earlier on to like hit like hundreds of views, and the director actually watched my deep dive on it. Yeah, see, Carrie, that's what I think of it. I say like, well, we're talking horror and craziness and stuff. Why not introduce them? Well, not like if you're dying, you need Colonial Pen. That's what it doesn't help you feel better. But like other ones, take your mind off things for a bit. Come back into the horror talk. So this killer, Chromeskull, has been videotaping all these murders and sending them to the police. Now there is a twist near the end of this movie because she doesn't remember who she is. This main chick, she just remembers like she's from Miami or something. I mean, it's a twist that you can pretty much, most people will be able to see it coming. It's not like a major thing, just like who she is and like what she did for a living and stuff. Oh, I did? Yay. Yes, that's another. I do want to say thank you to the new subscribers, you guys here, who have just recently subscribed. Thank you very much. Welcome to the club. The Horror All the Time Club. Yes, huge shout out to Carrie.
I got a funeral tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff to do. Someone has to stay here, right? In case the cops come. Trust me.
Oh, nice, Hatchet. I'll watch those for sure. I definitely want to see your thoughts on them. The only thing in All Hallows Eve that takes it down for me a little is the second segment with the alien. It's all right. It's fine, but it's nowhere near the first and the last short. It's definitely uneven with the quality of the three stories. But the first one with the sacrifice with the devil and cult or whatever they are, and the last one with art are phenomenal. The one with the aliens decent, and I believe in aliens and I like all alien type stuff. So you would think that type of stuff would work more for me. It's weird. Like a lot of things, like in horror that are like alien based, don't seem to work for me. No, well, thank you, man. I'm glad to have you. All I say is if I can make one person a day laugh or use their mind to think outside the box about a movie or something, I've done my fucking duty to society and YouTube. I miss that show. What a great show that was. So while these three look around for help, what horror franchises I have not done would people like to see me cover in the near future on the channel? Hey, Katie. Hola, K-pop. Yeah, franchises that you would like me to cover on the channel in the near future. I have some to finish up. I have Halloween. I got to finish up Rob Zombies 2 and 2018 and Kills. Nightmare on Elm Street. I got to finish Wes Craven's New Nightmare and the atrocious remake. Phantasm. I got to do 2 through 5. And we got 3 more Puppet Masters left. After like fucking a million, we got 3 left. Thank Christ. So bad. Those movies are so bad. Past like the 3rd one, 4th one, tops. Oh, terrible. Oh yeah, Sean. I don't know anyone who didn't like fucking love Gillian Anderson back in the day.
Sheriff.
Sheriff, tell me where you're at. We'll come get you.
This guy really is killing me. How he looks like young Steve Buscemi. I have done the Child's Play, yeah, earlier on, maybe like the 4th month of my channel or something like that. Let's see if I can think back. I've done Evil Dead. I've done Hatchet. I've done a lot of 80s slashers. Just finished Saw and Final Destination. I've done the Friday the 13th movies, most of the Halloweens, most of the Nightmares. Jeepers Creepers. I've done like 500 videos since I started my channel, like 9 months ago. I think I've done like over 350 films I've covered. Those were fun to go through, Phil, because I actually adore that franchise. Like, one of my favorite horror franchises, which I'm sad about because I didn't finish season 2 of Chucky, and I only got to like the episode where it was getting kind of meta and like out there, and it was boring as shit. It was like the 4th episode in, and I said I can't watch it. I'll wait for it all to release, and then I did, and now I'm waiting to find time to go through it and watch it again because everything Don Mancini's done before that 2nd season is gold to me. Like every entry in the Child's Play franchise, I adore. So even Seed of Chucky, like Seed of Chucky has my favorite scene in the whole franchise, which is absurd to some, but I love every entry in the franchise. First season was awesome of Chucky, so I'm hoping like rewatching what I did see of season 2 and finishing it, it ends up being good because I would hate to see that sink a little bit. And yeah, I love Jennifer Tilly in everything basically. That's a cool shot of Chromeskull. And the cool thing about Chromeskull in these movies, this and the sequel, is that he has the big camera like hoisted onto his shirt, on his clothing, on his shoulder here, so he films like everything he's doing, which is cool. I have not done Jaws, mostly just because I don't consider it a full-on horror movie, and it's not a favorite of mine. But it'll happen eventually, like for sure. Maybe I'll make up a month, not like make up a new month, like here we got fucking Rocktober, but like some month, and I'll just call it like I'll just do all like water horror movies to do with like creatures from the water and stuff. I know I did Piranha 3D. I still got to do 3 Double D. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know how I went from watching Piranha 3D with total intention to do and watch 3 Double D right after that, and then like some random movie I did instead. So I don't know why 3 Double D doesn't have a video right now, but it will. Yeah, see, Chucky is batshit insane. And I mean, I get it, and I've said this in like the Child's Play videos all the way back then. I've said I get it if people don't like Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky because it's kind of the same humor and everything. But if you love Bride of Chucky and hate Seed of Chucky, I don't get it. Like I honestly don't get it. Like it's pretty much, yeah, Seed is a little more over the top, but barely. I mean, it's in the same league as Bride. All right. Well, I will take your request into careful consideration. Let the higher ups know, and if they okay it, then you can expect a video in the next week. The Purge, Professor. I've never been big on the Purge movies. You know who's doing them right now? Jason, Ginja Ninja. He just started the Purge series, so I'll get to them eventually. They're just like not high up on the list for me. I've never really cared for those movies. The first one was all right. I don't like Ethan Hawke, I think is what I've realized over the years. Like, I don't like any of the horror movies he's in. Like, I don't care for Sinister much. It's all right. I don't really love the film or anything. Same with the one we're talking about that I forgot already. Yep, The Purge. And then I saw Black Phone was like the last film of last year that I didn't get around to seeing, and because I knew I wouldn't care for it, and I watched it while I was upstate last when I was with my daughter last week. Did not like it, like at all. Like there was a few things here and there, but I did not like that movie. Yeah, Val, I Spit on Your Grave is definitely a crazy, wicked movie. So much that I did a video on the remake like very early on in the channel because one of my best friends from college, when that film came out, he used to constantly quote it, and the line like when they like break into our house and they're like, oh, what the hell do they say to her? Oh, show me your teeth, show horse. And he used to quote that. And like one of my best friends from college, he's black, gay guy, one of the funniest people in the world. But you have to just hear him himself saying it. It's so funny. So then once I started the channel, like a month or two after, I put on Facebook something and like a request thing. And I saw a notification from my friend. I said, it's going to say I spit on your grave. Like, I know that. And I clicked on it and said, I spit on your grave 20 times. I said, yeah, I know you so well. Sean, I have not done the Hellraiser series and will not for a long, long time, probably. I'm not a fan of Hellraiser. I like the first two, but like even though I like those two, I'm still not huge on them. I'm not like a big Hellraiser guy that I'll be like, yeah, Hellraiser, let's throw that on. I'd rarely throw it on myself, right? But I do like the first two. After that, I couldn't even tell you what happens. Like, I don't think I've ever seen past the third one, maybe. In fact, Clive Barker in general, I don't care for a lot of his stuff. Like Candyman's, the story by him, The Forbidden. I bought his short story collection just to read, like figure also maybe open myself up to more of him, maybe see if it works, if I finally click with him. But Candyman is like the only film like from work of his I think is an absolute masterpiece. Like Candyman is that film is a masterpiece to me. And it's one of those movies that took a few watches and a few years and stuff to like grow on me to masterpiece status. And the score by Philip Glass is one of the greatest scores in a movie. Like when that kind of elevates it for me. Like it would be like an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, but the score by Philip Glass raises it to a 10 out of 10 movie. Like 100%. I did a guitar cover of the of Helen's theme from Candyman when I covered that movie. I love that music. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, getting junk cut off is not good now. Yeah, I never cared for Hellraiser, Carrie. Mike doesn't like it either. Hellraiser's yeah, right there. Hellraiser's pretty shit. I don't think it's shit. Right? It's just not my thing. Yeah, man, it's such a great score. Like just the gothic sounds to it and everything, the choir, and then just the whole Helen's theme with the piano and stuff. I did that as a cover on guitar. I do like horror score covers every now and then. I did the Cannibal Holocaust theme, which say what you will about Cannibal Holocaust, like people who don't like that movie. I actually rewatched it last night, like before I passed out, which I've seen that movie a decent amount of times. I really actually like Cannibal Holocaust. But the theme and the score to Cannibal Holocaust, one of the most gorgeous themes put to a movie, like ever. It is so beautiful, that theme. Which juxtaposes greatly with the content in the movie. So it works so well.
Maybe I should have stayed dead.
He wasn't dead. Right? Stop saying that nonsense. That's a coffin or a casket, it ain't. Such goddamn thing as a dead box. Dead people don't float around. They're just.
Oh, that's right. And this guy just saw like his mom who died.
I guess I'm still kind of confused.
Snap out of it.
Man, I feel bad for this guy. Like his freaking wife is dead. First of all, just from him trying to help this young girl. Yeah, I'll give it that, Sean. I mean, I really like the score in Hellraiser. That's probably one of the things I like the most about like the first two movies. The scores to them are great. Yeah.
I can't let him see his sister.
Human meat hamburger. So good.
Gotta cover her up.
That's why I brought it up. It's another movie that the score just brings the movie up a decent amount for me. Than if it didn't have that music. Like Candyman would not be a masterpiece to me without the music. If it had a completely different score, it would, like I said, like maybe an 8.5 out of 10. The score pushes it to masterpiece. Like, and I only have like maybe like 10, 15 movies that I would call masterpieces and perfect films. Which I actually have a playlist of those videos I've done on the one so far that's called Masterpieces and Perfect Films. So you can check them out there. Yeah, that's how I feel. I like the first two, but not even enough to throw them on now and then. But after that, I've never seen more. Yeah, I got to rewatch Nightbreed, Haunted by Horror. I definitely got to give that one a rewatch because I couldn't even give like comment on it right now or an opinion on it. I don't remember it at all. I don't think I've seen it in well over 10 years, if not longer. That's Cronenberg is acts in that movie, right? He plays like a part in there.
He's strong. He's got a lot of stuff to kill people. I don't know. I'd say he has the advantage. Not to mention a car, which helps him a lot.
Rat Burger. For some reason, the Rat Burger, it made me think of Ratma from VHS 94. That first segment with the rat in the tunnel, like the Rat Man. That's a great segment, actually. That's funny. That is crazy, that segment.
Wake up in that thing.
He says it's so different than like Tony Todd's voice, which we all know and love. I'm looking for Candyman, bitch. I like that too about that movie though, like and the story. I love how they introduce that scene where she gets like beaten bad and by this fake gang member going around pretending to be Candyman, and then they kind of like make it seem like maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's not like this boogeyman. It's just this guy who's going around attacking people. I like that whole inclusion too. It's such a great movie. Yeah, that's a good one, Professor. The Wolf Creek movies. I got to do those soon. I'm probably going to be cranking out a lot of videos on a lot of 80s slashers that I haven't done yet this month because I've been really in like a slasher mood, if you haven't been able to tell. Oh man, I feel bad for this guy. He lost his wife trying to help her. Well, everything is not going well for this guy. What, the Ratma one, Mike? I agree with that. And I didn't watch all of 94 because I love the first two VHSs. I saw them when they came out. I saw 99 when it came out. Before 99 came out, I tried watching Viral. I fell asleep after 40 minutes or less. It was so bad. The main kids, I can't. I mean, even though the series by now, like the VHS series, is known for having just asshole people, like just totally despicable characters, is like a trademark for the VHS series by now. I just couldn't, and I fell asleep, and I still haven't gone back to try to finish it. So Viral, I have no clue. And then I put on 94 like the next day, and I watched the first three or so, and then I had to shut it off for some reason. But that was so good. Like the Ratman one is amazing. 99 was the best one since VHS 2, like easily. Like I didn't like that segment with the stupid kids game show, and they tortured the guy in the same way, and it was by Flying Lotus, who's a drum and bass producer and musician, composer. Like I didn't even know he made movies now, apparently, but I've seen him live a few times because like certain DJs and stuff that were big in like drum and bass and electronic scenes and stuff like used to be at the same festivals, like jam bands I would follow like for years. So I've seen him live once or twice. He should stick to music, and I don't really even like that type of music that much. Yeah, that's true for the most part. That's actually what I was talking about that a little in. Oh, it didn't come out yet. My Cube video, I just did a video on Cube from '97. That'll premiere after this ends. I was saying that I like in that movie that like the characters are cool. Like there's not like a big dickhead like how there always has to be in movies like that when somebody wakes up. A group of people wake up somewhere, they don't know how they got there, and then one person's just an asshole like off the bat, or they're all arguing with each other the whole movie, and that doesn't happen in Cube. I mean, near the end it gets a little hectic, but like for the most part, that's not something you see too often. Yeah, right, May. Like that's why I feel he should be so much more well known. Like when people talk about Art the Clown, they should be Chromeskull in there too. And I love Art the Clown and the Terrifier movies. Like I adore those movies. Yeah, it follows. Whatever. Some fucking friend I have from across the pond likes that movie. No, yeah, you're right. They do. But I love It Follows. I've never understood the divide on that movie. I've always liked It Follows since it first came out. I thought it's very, very atmospherically. It's very similar to Halloween, like Carpenter's, like the atmosphere to it and the soundtrack. Like I love that movie. Yeah, man, exactly. That's what I said at the beginning of this. I said just like if this movie came out more around when Terrifier did, this would be instantly known among slasher fans and even just regular horror fans, like all different subgenres. People would know Laid to Rest and Laid to Rest 2 and Chromeskull, but they don't. Yeah, no, they are. They did good with the characters, and It Follows. If you guys like chocolate and peanut butter, you're gonna want some Reese's. Because Tubi told me. And to quote the great Mitch Hedberg, pieces Reese. It has an apostrophe in there, so it's the pieces belong to Reese. So if you meet a Reese, you better hand him over. Oh, that's right. They just call her Princess because she don't have a name. Does anybody know if Black Mirror is ever coming out with more seasons, or is that just done, that show? I was rewatching some episodes the other night. I was like, man, I forgot how great this show was. That first episode when the Prime Minister has to fuck the pig on national television. Dude, that is so ridiculously stupid. I love it so much. That was the first episode I ever saw, which makes sense because it's the first episode. Yeah, Carrie, I love Mitch Hedberg. He's like a fucking genius, Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg, Bill Hicks, Doug Stanhope, Anthony Jeselnik, George Carlin. This is my number one. All geniuses. Yeah. Tuxedo. He bred at Subway for free. That's so sad when he had to overdose so young. That guy was such a genius. That's what Anthony Jeselnik reminds me of. Is like those type of jokes that Hedberg told, but a lot darker. Like maybe that's why I love Jeselnik so much. It's that same type of like traditional joke writing, and not like a story, like stories that are funny that a lot of comedians use. It was like the second time this girl has had to wake up in a coffin, or like be in a coffin for any reason. Nobody wants to be in a coffin more than just one time, like after you die and you rest there. First down. Yeah, right. The Ninth Circle and Terrifier, both shorts came out in 09, right? I'm pretty sure both of them did. And yeah, no, I mean, I remember when All Hallows Eve came out. I don't remember it being that big of a movie, All Hallows Eve, at all. So it definitely took off when first Terrifier came out, because that went right to Netflix, which blew my mind at the time that type of movie was on Netflix. Then that's why when I heard Terrifier 2, I was like, wow, like it's in the theater, like good for them, man. And I was so happy I was able to get the executive producer of Terrifier 2, Steve Barton, on the channel a little bit after the movie came out. That's a great little 20-minute mini interview with him. Oh, I feel like did I just see that one? That's not the one with the kid with the laptop, right? Who gets recorded and then he has to go around like doing like bringing shit to people, and then we find out at the end why he was so freaked out about people seeing him jerking off, like, and what he was looking at. The names like on the episode kind of meld like together, like with the episodes. But I wonder if they're still. I wonder if is it done, that show, or are they just? Because I know like for the 5th season, like that came out like a while after the 4th one, so I don't know if they're just taking their time or it's over. I think it might be over because it says 2019 as the end date. I'd like to see more from that. Black Mirror is great.
Where is he? Oh, God, help. Stay here. I'll find the real person.
Man, all the corpses in these caskets are mutilated. Like, absolutely mutilated. Crazy shit. Trying to think of what other series, like major franchises, I haven't done. Wrong Turn's a good one. That's why I was thinking of it recently. I will have a top 20, my top 20 found footage films of all time video list out a little later tonight, with some honorable mentions as usual. Hey, Queenie, what's going on? We have a horror YouTuber of the month here. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
Guys.
And spoiler alert for that top 20 found footage films, Blair Witch Project is not on it at all. So if that intrigues you, come over. That's actually a good idea, Sean. I actually like the sequels, and I actually like 3 more than 1 and 2 of Poltergeist. I am good, Queen. Me and a few in chat are just watching Laid to Rest from 2009. A very underrated slasher film. That's what I do. I figure just keep pumping out content. Like, if I wasn't talking and shit, I would be watching the movie anyway. Like, so it makes no sense not to make a video.
What do we do now?
It's like, all right, just might as well talk while I'm doing it. This guy's phone is insane too. Chromeskull's phone. I think they say like in the second one, it's like a $10,000 phone or some shit, like 2009. That's funny. They took some good guesses for his password on the phone. Die. I mean, a die would have been like the first one I tried. Kill, die, murderer. Yeah, not only did this guy lose his wife during trying to help this girl, but now he's limping too. So now he might have a permanent limp. Poltergeist is a good idea though, Sean, for sure. Which I don't know a lot of people who even like the sequels, like Poltergeist 2 and 3. I think 3 is the best out of all three of them. The Omen is another series I was thinking of, but I have plans for that one. So that'll be coming, but in the little more distant future. I should start doing found footage Fridays again. How many of you guys like found footage movies? There's a decent amount. Because I used to do that the first few months of my channel. I would just do Fridays. I would do like 2 to 3 found footage films. This house is cleansed. Marianne, don't go into the light. You never done this before.
We got his car. Now, right?
Yeah, but my car is there.
Indeed. Well, I'm glad you liked Incantation. That was a good found footage. Queenie, you love found footage? Nice. Yeah, I like a decent amount of them, but I mean, there's no denying it's absolutely a more than a mixed bag. Like you look on Tubi, you can find thousands, like 1,000 found footage films, and maybe like 20 might be great. Like it's just like the slasher craze of the 80s. They were so cheap to make, and the genre became so oversaturated like very quickly. And the same thing with once Blair Witch, more so like with Paranormal Activity. I think when they came out, that's when like you saw found footage popping up all over the place. And just like the slasher ones, they're so cheap to make, and it oversaturated the genre. So now we got a whole ton of shit ones. But yes, obviously there are a lot of hidden gems. My favorite found footage, Creep. I think it is the best found footage film. I think Mark Duplass's performance is the best performance in a found footage movie, and makes the movie like pretty much. But when I see that movie, my eyes don't leave the screen. Like they're glued to the screen for the whole time. I got you, May. I love Terrifier. I'll do watch parties for those. Yeah, anyone feel free in the community section and stuff. Leave like recommendations for movies, for videos for me to do, or watch parties, ideas. I'm open to all of that. I just love it talking to movies. Queenie, if you like found footage, check out a movie on Tubi called Chest, in all capital. I met the director on Reddit last year, and it was like a few months after I started my channel, and he was on the found footage subreddit, and so was I. And him started chatting, and he was saying that he just finished his first movie and his found footage. I said I just started this channel, and blah. So we talked a little bit, and he sent me a screener code to watch it, and I was championing that movie ever since I saw it, until it came out on Tubi finally in November, I want to say. But great movie. It's very low budget. Like beware that. Like it is low budget, but there's a difference when you have a low budget and you know how to write to your budget with what you have and make it work, and just like totally write crazy shit that you can't do with your budget, and then your movie sucks because of it. He wrote to his budget very well, Yeah, check it out. It's called Chest from last year. He was nice enough. He sent me a screenplay book and Blu-ray of the movie when he had them finished. Really, really nice guy.
Come on, pull it together, man.
My mother up. My son.
Yeah, that's a good idea too, Sean.
How long?
That way, also I can knock out the quarantine movies too, since that's all kind of like the same.
Give us a break.
You ain't going to that park.
Those are two good movies too. I just thought of Ghost Ship because I was just watching Triangle from 2009, like 5 days ago, 4 days ago. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I fucking love that movie, man. Like any movie with like time loops and stuff like that, like when things repeat and like Happy Death Day and like those type of things. I love that concept in movies.
Come on, don't look.
And no, Professor, even though I know how to play that and I like that song. Actually, one of the bands I used to be in years ago, we used to play Creep all the time. Not really a big Radiohead guy, but that is a good song. They got some good songs on their albums. But Creep, the found footage film, as I'm sure you know, which I'm still waiting for a Creep 3. Like, goddamn, man, it's been what 2017, like 5-6 years. Yeah, Happy Death Day is a fun one, Phil. It's definitely like horror comedy. Like it's more even on the comedy side than horror, but it's definitely a fun movie. Time Crimes. Why does that sound so familiar? All right, yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds familiar. Time Crimes. Yeah, I gotta check that out then, Professor. I mean, we didn't. Yeah, I don't want to say that yet. Didn't get to that part in the movie yet. Oh yeah, I forgot that I started the Goosebumps series, the TV show, like a month and a half ago. I did like 4 episodes and then just remembered, just remembered it. So I gotta do more of those. To anybody else who grew up with Goosebumps, the books and the TV series, you'll get nostalgia out of that shit. What is everyone's favorite horror film of the year so far? Let's see that. Let's see what picks people have for top of the year so far. So I've caught up on pretty much most of this year's horror. I still got to see Infinity Pool by Cronenberg's son, which I've heard mixed things, but I've heard good things from people I trust their opinions on. I'm guessing Time Crimes. Yeah, I gotta definitely check that out now. I'll probably, if I've seen it, I'll remember it once I turn it on. But it sounds so familiar, but I don't know if I've seen it. If you guys take meds because you're fucking whack-a-looms, like you want a good RX to help get you the cheapest prices on your medication. This is live, Daniel. What's up, buddy? It is indeed live. Yo, me too. Haunted by Horror. That's awesome. Me too. I mean, like, besides like Halloween being the first horror movie I saw on Halloween when I was 5 or 6, I can't remember. I can never remember which one, 5 or 6. Then I saw the first 8 Fridays because those were the ones they played marathon all the time on TV. Besides like those two, then like the Goosebump books were like my other like huge push entry into horror movies and the horror genre. So like that has a lot of nostalgia for me, Goosebumps, the books and the show. You did like Infinity Pool? I trust your judgment too. I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it. I mean, I love me a goth, and I do like I have seen one of Brandon Cronenberg's movies. I forgot if it was his first or his second. It's different, but he had shades of his father's style. Actually, that's a director's series I can go down soon too. Was Cronenberg? I haven't covered any Cronenberg yet on this channel. Well, then you need good RX because Tubi just told me that's what people like us who are on meds need. So, good RX. Tubi really should start paying me. Like, I'm gonna have subscribers and followers on other social media. 1 letter a day to Tubi, please. Hello, Tubi people. You're not paying our YouTuber JT enough for always talking about the fucking commercials on your app. Well, let's see. What did I like most from this year? Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was fucking great. Like, I'll say that as a slasher fan, it was everything I expected it to be. Like, I had no expectations for that, and I don't have the whole connection to Winnie the Pooh like as a kid. Like, it's not ruining my childhood or anything. I was more of a Sesame Street kid, so I didn't really care about Winnie the Pooh at all. But for what it is, for Winnie the Pooh slasher film, the kills are great, and you get pretty much exactly what it sounds like. So the people who are giving it bad reviews, like, I don't even know if half the people saw the goddamn thing, and they're just bitching on it because it's another childhood property turned into a horror movie, because it's not that bad. Like, if you compare that to a lot of slasher fans, like favorite 80s slashers, are you serious? How nonsensical those movies are and bad they are in every way. Like, look at The Mutilator. The Mutilator is one of my favorite 80s slashers, but for the kills only. Like, everything else is abysmal in The Mutilator, except for the theme song, going on full break. Yeah, bear horror. That's going to be a new subgenre by the end of the year. I actually enjoyed Cocaine Bear, though. I would not call it a horror movie, though, at all. It's just a movie. Like it's not a horror. Yeah, that's it. Full break. Going on a full break. You know, what do you think on The Mutilator 2, Dan? We're getting supposedly the end of this year or very early next year. There's a trailer out. I did cheat and watch that trailer. I usually don't watch any trailers, but I'm not going to be disappointed getting spoiled by the Mutilator 2 trailer, like, for that movie, because I have no expectations. But imagine a slasher, an obscure slasher from the 80s with amazing kills, 40 years later is getting a sequel by the same director and writer. That's wild. I'm sure it'll be terrible, but who knows? Hopefully it's good. You can always hope. Man, it sucks for these kids at this gas station. It's just working, man. Like, and all this trouble shows up. Yeah, the only reason I watched it was so I watched it while I sent it to my boy Dave so he could watch it, because he's not like a huge 80s slasher fan that likes all like the Mutilators and shit, and Blood Rage and all those type of ones, the more lesser known ones. And he did like a review on it like a year ago, saying that like this movie's awful. And I always fight him on it, telling him it's fucking fantastic. The kills are amazing in The Mutilator. But like, that's it. The acting's terrible. The dialogue is terrible. They had that one scene that the first time I saw that movie, I was dying because it's so random, and I love random stuff. Like, I love being random. When the guy goes out to look for his friends, and the girl's like saying, "Oh, like, we can have sex when you come back and stuff," then that like kicks him into high gear, and the film like goes into double time and speeds up, and he does like a little like old school dance with like honky tonk piano playing. Then he leaves the room, and then he pops out with his hat, and he goes back in the room and goes back out. That's so funny. The first time I saw that, I was dying. Oh yeah, the it's great, the opening. Yeah, he gives a shot to his dead wife too.
Is there anything I can get for you?
Gives it like a little shot of whiskey. Yeah, all those 80s slashers I did very early on in my channel. Blood Rage, The Mutilator, The Burning, The Prowler, which I'm not too big a fan of, The Prowler.
Good movie.
The Kills are fantastic by Savini, but I feel like The Prowler is a very slow movie. Like, it is. Like, the pacing is not good in that movie. Like, we get those awesome double kill with the guy with the bayonet and the eyes going white, and then right after that, the shower kill with the pitchfork. That's awesome. It looks great. Then, like, another half hour, 40 minutes goes by before anything happens again. Except for, like, I call him Forehead because the guy has a big ass forehead. The guy who plays the deputy in that movie. So I remember my video called him Forehead. It's just him and the girl, like, looking around for shit. And it's boring, man. Like, it has a lot of pacing issues, The Prowler. And Iron Maiden, who I adore, actually wrote a song, The Prowler, after that movie, which adds a few points to it. So I love Iron Maiden. I like Event Horizon. That's a movie I gotta do, actually. Hey, what's up? What's up, Jason? You happen, dude? There happens to be some type of psychic link that when I mention your name or your channel, you appear in the chat a little bit afterwards. Because I was just at the very beginning of this mentioning you for some reason. Oh, because of our love for Blair Witch too. And I said, if you guys haven't been to Sinister Cinema Reviews, check them out. I've been following for years, all that. Then you pop up again. Nice to see you, man. Sam Neill is amazing in everything. He's so great. That's why it doesn't annoy you when he gets just recognized for Jurassic Park. Like, you bring up Sam Neill for some reason, or he comes up and they're like, well, it's the guy from Jurassic Park, right? And it's just like, oh, it's like in the mouth of madness and like Possession and like, Omen 3 and like it's so much. And Jason, let me know if you and Kaylee want to do that remake stream thing. That'll be fun. And actually, I'd like to hear your thoughts, Jason, on Laid to Rest here. Because I picked this movie because this is such a lesser-known film, slasher film, that I feel like this would have like blew up like Terrifier if it came out 5 years later. This movie would have, he could have become another icon, Chromeskull. But like nobody's seen these movies. Oh, hell yeah, it does. Hey, what up, Dave? Good to see you, buddy. You're in the hospital tomorrow, Daniel. I hope everything's all right, buddy. I will keep you in my thoughts for sure. I hope everything's fine.
Anthony? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about the car. It's all right.
Oh, you did? Well, I figured. Of course you did. Friggin', how many videos you up to now, dude? I remember when you were at like 1.4 thousand or some shit. I can't believe I'm like I have over 500 videos on the channel in like 10 months, 9 months. I think that's called obsession, film obsession.
Just a lot of blood.
May, you're having nightmares tonight, May? Well, just know that Chromeskull is fake and fictional, except for that real serial killer he was based off of who lives near you, who hasn't been caught yet. I'm kidding. You'll be fine. You'll sleep fine.
You gotta find anything we can there. We're holding our ground.
Yeah, Dave, don't even worry about that, dude. That's why when I hit 1,000, I'm not monetizing. That was never the goal, nor is it. I mean, you'll never see an ad on this channel. Just because they're annoying. Damn, dude, 2.7 thousand now? Wow. I could see that. I mean, you put them out like fast like I do and stuff. And you and Kaylee must go through like a few movies a night probably. thinking about what I want to do after this, because I got that video on Cube dropping, which was a fun rewatch, watching Cube again. I know Hypercube is hated on, but I got some nostalgia for Hypercube. But it is a much worse movie.
During the war, you flew soldiers' wings. I was 18.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully everything's all right. So I get, because I've had stomach issues most of my life. Like I get stomach aches pretty often. Like I mean, I've had it checked, nothing's wrong. But oh, nice, Jason. New slashers, or just like in general? Because I know you don't really rewatch much anymore. You do a lot more. Just focus on newer stuff, which is awesome. Yeah, Dave, I like all three of them, but I always hear a lot of shit get thrown at Hypercube. But I get it. I mean, the effects are not good. Are not good in that movie at all. But I like the whole idea of the Tesseract and it being time being distorted and all that. So I enjoy it. This Zero, I don't remember too much of. I just remember, doesn't like the guy end up being Kazan from the first movie? Pretty sure that's what happened. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been passing some 80 slashers that I thought I've seen, and I ended up I never did, or just ones I've never heard of, and now it's gotten me into a slasher mood again, which is basically, even if I trail off a little bit from the slasher genre, it always comes back to it. Dude, this guy getting the shit sprayed in his ear by Chromeskull. That sucks. What a way to die. I don't even know what that is. I couldn't read it. And I keep saying it. I feel so bad for the main guy here. He's lost his wife because of all this, trying to save this girl. He's limping. He's gonna die. Oh, what, Hypercube? Yeah. You're all patently incorrect. Yeah, that's what I remember. Did you see the remake? It's like a Japanese remake. I downloaded it like the other day because I heard about it like a little while ago, and I never checked it out. So now that I'm going to be doing the other two, I'll probably do that one also. I haven't seen the Pumpkinhead sequels in a long time, and I don't know if I've even seen all of them. I know I've seen the second one. Second one is not bad. I mean, like for that type of movie and like that genre of horror, the first one is the best by far with that franchise. But I don't think I've seen past maybe the third one. How many are there? 4 or 5? Oh, Dave, you haven't seen any of the Pumpkinheads? I didn't watch the first one either until like later on, like maybe in my like mid-teens, like late teens, something like that. Like that was a movie I kind of like waited around before I finally like watched it, which is still not like a favorite of mine, but it's a good movie. I mean, all the effects work is excellent, and the monster design and everything. Horror in the High Desert. Yeah, that's when that's the found footage with the guy who goes missing. He goes and like hikes and stuff like that, and he ends up like missing, and they try to find out what happened to him, and then we found his footage, and there's like a mutant in the desert or some shit. Did they have a second one coming out? Yeah, the first one is definitely worth a watch, Hatchet. The first Pumpkinhead's definitely a fun time. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think most of us started with. Which how old did you guys start watching horror? Because I've talked about this with so many people, but it always seems like the hardcore fans of horror and movies that like we started very young. Like I started at 5 or 6 with Halloween. Like I know a lot of people who started watching horror at like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like young.
Hey, you don't mind if I use your bed? Use your bed.
I'll check the second movie out for sure, Dave. I just don't watch trailers, so I like to go into everything blind. But I'll definitely watch it. I enjoyed the first one. Maybe I'll do a video on the first one right before the second one comes out. Yeah, so you were 5 too. Well, I was 5 or 6. Yeah, Dave, I'm 34 too. Oh, Sleepaway Camp. What a fucking way to start your horror journey, man. That's the movie that'll like begging and a lot of questions from you. Like I can imagine like you like asking your parents like what happened. I saw this movie. What does it mean that this happened and this was there and this? That's funny. Sleepaway Camp 2 was my favorite in that franchise. Unhappy Campers. Yeah, the only reason horror I remember Haunted is just because it was on Halloween, like on Halloween night watching Halloween. I was going through the TV guide, like remember the full fucking paperback TV guides. I was looking and I was like Halloween. I was like little me's like that's today. Then I had no idea what I was in for after that. But everything about that movie just drew me in completely as a kid. That's like in my top 3 films of all time. Yeah, so we're all within a few years of each other. Yeah, you damn right you owe her a lot. That's a good babysitter right there. That's the best one. Oh, Tourist Trap. I love Tourist Trap so much. Tourist Trap is such a great movie. Oh, geezer. I'm only 4 years behind you. Yeah, a lot of people tell me I don't look my age, that I look younger. Like, I hear that all the time. Like, people are always surprised that I'm the age that I am. Like, if I shaved, like, completely, I'd look like 10 years younger than I am. I'd be like, people would be IDing me and shit all, like, left and right. That's so awesome. And then Chromeskull just takes this freaking mask that got knocked off of him, and she put that glue that the other guy was talking about on there, and then he puts the mask on, and he starts ripping, and it's ripping his skin off and stuff. That looks so good. That looks so awesome. Yeah, I've gotten that forever. When I was in my late 20s, people were saying like, "Oh, you look like 20 years old." Like it's been like that forever. I love how fucked up his face looks. Like they did such a good job with the effects in this movie. But that kill earlier with the knife getting thrown through that dude's face is like so good. Like I don't know how in the sequel how they even like I remember, but the whole way of them bringing him back is so stupid. Like it's so dumb. This motherfucker is dead. Only like me and May see his face right now, but he's dead. His face is melted away, and then they do some like fucking surgery on him and like wrap his face up like he just got burnt a little bit, and he's fine after that. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And then she finds out that she was like a fucking prostitute or something. It's like, all right, accept who you were. If you don't like it, move on. Change your life. That's been JT's inspirational talk for the day. I mean, the only reason I ever think he hid the paperwork from her is he just didn't want her to find out that she was a prostitute, right? There's no other reason for that. And she doesn't even come back for like those few recap scenes at the beginning. I'm pretty sure they just wanted someone to show their tits, like in the second one. Said like, all right, we already got the slashing part good with the kills. All right, now we need some tits in our slasher movie, and this girl wouldn't do it for some reason, so they just got rid of her and recast it, like for those few little scenes. I'm almost sure that's what happened. Hatchet, Philip, are you guys Italian horror fans? That's a good one, Dave. No, not yet. I gotta do that. You know what the crazy thing is, man, is like every day I'll wake up and a dozen new movies will jump into my head. And I'll be like, oh shit, like those are good ones I gotta rewatch and do a video on. And then the next day, 12 more movies coming when I wake up. And the next day, 12 more movies. Like there's so many movies out there. Like it's gonna be years before I'm like, all right, I think I've covered like a decent amount of what I've seen, and plus like new releases and shit. No, it's a phenomenal movie. That's why I didn't like that remake at all. They remade it. It was fucking not good. I forgot who was in it, but it was not a good remake, like at all. I think it's wild that John Carpenter is two of my favorite films of all time in my top three. Like in my top three films, The Thing is number one, and Halloween's number three.
Where are we going?
Oh, Hatchet, you'd like my Argento playlist. I did last August. I did a Argento August and covered all of Argento's films from his first one with the bird with the crystal plumage to Opera in '87, which to me is his last excellent masterpiece. So, Opera is like in my top three Argento, and always is, because there's like five of his movies that rotate in and out of the top three, but some that are always in there, and Opera is the one that's always in there. Well, we got to change that, man. We have to do a watch party or something soon of a Argento film or Fulci. Because last month I was supposed to touch on do some more Fulci films, and then I got COVID mid-month. I wasn't able to get to any of them. Yeah, you'll like Opera, Hatchet. That's the best way, like spoiler-free synopsis for it. This girl is like making her debut, like as a opera singer on the production of Macbeth, which always has like a curse attached to it, and there's a killer that's like stalking her and basically like tying her up and putting rows of needles under both her eyes so she can't close them, and has to watch him kill like her friends and like other people. Just right there, the friggin' like concept of it is great. I have not seen Dark Glasses. I've been purposely putting it off. As when I did that Argento August, I had to skip Four Flies in Gray Velvet because I couldn't find it streaming anywhere, and I haven't seen that one in a long while. So I'm really actually interested to rewatch it. Couldn't find it anywhere, and then I found it on YouTube, but I already like moved on at that time, like to Deep Red and Suspiria. So I said I'll circle back to it, and then one thing you'll always notice, I always have themes on my channel. They never get done by by the end of the month. Nah, there's always still a few in the series left over, all of that. So I never circled back to it. So I'm going to circle back and do that this month, Four Flies in Gray Velvet, and then I'll watch Dark Glasses, and I can do a video on that too. Right, man? It's a great slasher movie. I wish more people knew about it. Like the people who love Terrifier, they would love this movie and the sequel. Sequel's not as good. Like the sequel's nowhere near as good, but it's still good, and it still have great kills. but like the story aspect of it is kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is ridiculous. But those are the fun ones. Oh, Dave, are you still in there, Dave? Because I saw your comment just now. I did a Skinamarink video. Like, it's up. I thought I tagged you in it. I guess I didn't. But there's a review up. It's not a review. It's a joke video. It's Skinamarink review, Skinamarink style. Did anyone in the chat like Skinamarink who saw it? Like, I'm genuinely like curious. Like I always say, all the time on this channel, that I don't know, that whatever people's opinions are different. That's what I love about discussing movies and shit and music and everything, is that we're all different. But if someone loves that movie and is in chat right now, they have to say they did, and they have to like explain themselves a little bit, like just a little bit, like a tiny bit, like what you liked about it, because I need to know. No, it's not as boring as watching paint dry. Basket Case Man, yeah, tomorrow I'm watching with Dave. It is on Tubi. I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi also. Yeah, all three of them are. Which, if you ever haven't seen Basket Case, that is definitely a fun watch. A kid, I don't want to say kid, he's older than that, like young adult. But when he was a kid, he had a conjoined, I can't say twin because it's not a twin like by any means. Like, it's not even a full human being. It's kind of just like a bunch of like skin with hands and a face, and he gets it cut off of him when he's a kid and thrown in the garbage, and then he goes and rescues, like, it's his brother, and he carries him around in a basket. Like, that's as most spoils as I can, spoiler free as I can go. Yeah. I'll have the link on my homepage that says Basket Case, and it'll be in there tomorrow. Also, if you have notification, just hit the bell, put all notifications, so you get hit with the notification for it. Not only does Argento film scratches, the music scores are over. Oh yeah, dude, Goblin is so great. Freaking Goblin. I love Goblin so much. But I also love and I think it's so weird that Argento doesn't like Cat o' Nine Tails. Like, that's his least favorite movie of his. And I love Cat o' Nine Tails. And the score by Ennio Morricone, who did all his first three movies, is phenomenal in that movie. Like, the score is so good by Morricone in that. Like, it's one of my favorite Argento scores, which is outside the norm for sure, as Goblin would be the rest of them, basically. Like, Deep Red is excellent. Suspiria is like some of the greatest horror score of all time. Keith Emerson's score on Inferno, which Inferno is so goddamn underrated. Like, people do not like Inferno. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but I could see it lasting, I could see it for like 10 minutes. Like, at the most. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not 140 minutes. That's not, an hour and 40 minutes. That's not an hour and 40-minute film. Like, that's a joke. Like, that's not a movie. Like, that, anyone could do it. And just the fact that I did it in my video, that's what pisses me off. Like, if I, not just movies, music, well, I mean, that's biased a little bit because I am a musician, so I can't figure things out. But like any type of entertainment that you feel like you could have done while you're watching it or listening to it or anything like that, that annoys me, because I will never say that I can do much when it comes to making a movie. But that, oh man, like, and it's not even pretentious because there's nothing there to be pretentious about. So it's just what it is. It's funny though, because I'm probably sure that he didn't even read it. But I on Twitter, because I post all my videos tagged on to Twitter and make tweets for them, I tagged him, the director, Kyle Edward Ball, I think his name is, in that post with my video for him, and he liked it, even though the thumbnail says review in abysmal Skinamarink style. And he liked it. So he must have just saw just another tweet, and I liked him. I just thought it was funny. Hey, trench coat. What's up, man? Just speaking about you, Dave, earlier, you've been here for almost forever. Like, Trenchcoat's been subscribed to me for a while now. I appreciate that as always, Trenchcoat. How you been? I can't stream it anymore. It should be on. Oh shit! Where are you from, Hatchet? Are you from the UK? Because I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi. Canon Nine Tails, unless they took it off recently. But I know all my boys in the UK, they can't. They don't get Tubi for some odd reason. I'm good, man. Can't complain. Just finished watching, talking very little about the movie, about Laid to Rest from 2009. Awesome, little-known slasher movie from the late 2000s. And like a million other topics that came up. So, how you doing? Anything new on the channel soon? And all you guys in chat who have a channel, you guys can like make a post, like plug your channels, let people know what you guys are up to this week. Pretty sure Cat of Nine Tails is on Tubi though. So I just passed it. Or maybe it's not. Oh, Two Evil Eyes. Yeah, I should do Two Evil Eyes too. I shouldn't just leave Argento's movies at opera. Yeah, they have Cat of Nine Tails on Tubi. Yeah, no, you should, man. It's on Tubi. And that's the answer that I get a lot. Like, and I didn't even see these movies until recently, like 7 months ago or so, like half a year ago. And I'm a slasher guy. And these flew under my radar too. I heard the names, I just slept on them. But damn, the kills are excellent in this movie. Like, so good. Have you ever watched my video on Blair Witch Project, to, like where I explain myself and give myself a little bit of defense against that claim? Because I don't hate the Blair Witch Project. I don't really hate any movie, because that's a strong word. But I like a lot of things about it, surrounding it. I just don't like the movie itself. Like watching the film. Like I have a found footage top 20 list that'll be up later tonight. Blair Witch ain't on there, like at all. Like it's just not on there. It'll be an honorable mention for sure, just for what it's, the significance that it had. But I love a lot of things about that movie. And I know you didn't say hate. I just like throwing that in there, because a lot of people do just say, I hate this movie, I hate that movie. And it's like, whoa, like you hate these 5-6 movies you rattled off? Like there was nothing at all that you liked about any of them, not one redeeming quality? Like, tell me more. Like, people throw that word around very, very easy. Yeah, see, trench coats with me. I love the interviews at the beginning. I love the whole lore, all of the lore of Coffin Rock and Rustin Parr, and putting them in the corner, the kids, and he killed them, and all the stuff with the girl that got pulled under by the witch. All those interviews in the beginning established the lore excellently. I love the acting in the movie, because a lot of it's genuine reactions. And I've heard people say that like the acting is dog shit in that movie. I'll defend that statement like to hell. Like that, there is great acting in the Blair Witch Project. I will always defend it for that. Like, there is some great acting in that movie. Like, not even just like the genuine reactions from people, just like their regular dialogue that they're coming up with. Like, there's good acting. Like, they look scared out of their minds, and they should, like, being in that situation. So there's a lot of things. I love the marketing for that movie. I mean, it was genius. Like, who else thought of that? Nobody. Like, the last broadcast came out the year before. But I think Blair Witch was filmed like the year before that or something. One of those films is, everyone says, is first. I'm pretty sure they say the last broadcast was first, but it was filmed after Blair Witch. So whatever. But It's not a good movie anyway, the last broadcast. But what a friggin' marketing campaign they did for that. And for making everybody, like most people, I guess if it's real or not, like what they're watching, that they actually convinced some people that they were allowed to get the footage of the last like known sighting of their kids and family. And sure, let's release it to theaters so everybody could watch. It's like, I don't know. Like I saw it when I was real young in theaters, and that's only because I had a friend who was a horror fan who liked horror like I did, but had a brother who worked at a movie theater and would sneak us in all the time. So I remember seeing it in the theaters. And there was even a part when I was like thinking like, I mean, it could be real, maybe, but then like thinking logically, and then by the end of it, it's like, no, this ain't fucking real at all. All of that's great though. I just don't like watching the movie. That's why I adore Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, which is, I hate how many people hate that movie, man. That movie gets shit on so much, which I can't wait to have the director, Joe Berlinger, on the channel in the next few months. I've been going back and forth with him and his assistant for like since November. Like, cause he's just started the new project, which I didn't even know he was still doing stuff, Joe Berlinger, because he was a documentary filmmaker. And they brought him on for Blair Witch 2, just to have someone completely different. And I didn't even know he was still like doing stuff. So he just started a new project this month. I just talked to his assistant the other day. So she said, reach out at the end of May and we'll set it up. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's definitely superior to that for sure. This is how much I love Blair Witch 2. I wish Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews was still in here because he'd back me up. I love that movie so much that it's on my top 10. I think it's in the top 10 of the 2000s for me, like horror films, which is ridiculous. Yes, I know. But I've seen that movie so many times. It's such a misunderstood movie. It was fucked with by the studio so much. I have a fan edit if any of you guys in chat want it. Like I'll either post the link here or I'll get it to you guys somehow. I'll post it on the channel. The fan edit takes out all the studio added and shit, like all the early interrogation scenes with the cop, with the sheriff, that make you already know what's happening, like by the end. All the gore scenes that you know it's fucking them anyway, because that girl who's gorgeous during it has a tattoo on her back, and you see her ass in the video, and you know it's her. Like, they take all that stupidity out. And the intro song was supposed to be Frank Sinatra, Witchcraft, and they changed it to Marilyn Manson. So that's all changed back. Like, it's basically like a director's cut, but a fan version. And there's an actual book in this fan edit. Like, because there's no Book of Shadows in that whole movie. Like, what a stupid title that was. That was added by the studios too. So, like, there's so much that's misunderstood about that movie. I love it so much. Social media, yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember seeing the police footage and stuff, and like the police reports online on the campaign for Blair Witch. It did look convincing, man. Like, that's why I'm saying it. They did a phenomenal job. Like, what a friggin' marketing campaign they ran that nobody's ever really had the chance to do the same thing since, because every time someone tries to do it, and this point is brought up in the found footage movie Butterfly Kisses. If people haven't seen that movie, watch that movie. That is a great found footage film, which I sadly will never be able to see another one by the director, because he passed away sadly like a year or two after he released the movie. That is a great movie. But every time someone tries to use that it's real thing, people, we already fell for that with the Blair Witch Project. So it's like nobody can do it again. Like, they were there at the right time, and they took it, and they did all that amazing marketing, and it paid off for them. Yeah, Dave, the last broadcast is all right. I like the majority of it, but the ending is just stupid. Like, it goes from found footage the whole movie to just like a whole bunch of camera angles that are not found footage for the reveal and shit. And then it just falls apart completely in 5 minutes. Everything cool that came before it. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but I never cared for the way that movie ends. Like, it takes it down a lot for me. Hey, what up, Mav? How you doing, buddy? We were just talking about Laid to Rest from 2009. Have you ever seen Laid to Rest? with the Chromeskull, Matt? Let me see here. Where is the only thing I really liked about Blair Witch 2016 was the girl getting her back broken because the bitch was angry and she snapped her voodoo twig and then she gets sucked into the air. That's cool. Come on, you can't deny that's a cool scene. That's it. Like that's like really the only thing like for me. But that is a cool scene because I did not expect that. And then like what is like did like an alien spacecraft land at the end of that movie? Like everything it like is light, bright white and shit, like peering through the house they're in, and like it looks like aliens. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean or anything. Nor do I care really, because it's not a favorite like franchise or a good movie. That one, it really doesn't matter. But they really make it look like aliens. So, oh, good to know, May. Always like having you here. Always like having whoever's here, man. Just the more the merrier. That's what I like is discussing movies. Yeah. Hell House LLC, I love, man. And Grave Encounters is my second favorite found footage film. Right after Creep, which is my favorite. Like, Creep, Mark Duplass's performance is fucking amazing in Creep. I think it's the best performance in a found footage movie. Like, so good that, like, when I have my video later tonight for my top 20 found footage drop, it's like right like 2 above Creep 2 or like 3 above it. Like they're so close together because both Creep movies are just amazing. Like his performance, Duplass, is just unreal that I can't take my eyes off the screen. Yeah, see, that's the difference then, I guess, when you and me, is that everything leading up, it's not enough for me. Like, just because of how much it drops because of that ending. Like, it is very stupid. Like, and like, he what? Like, I don't want to dive into spoilers on it. I'll do a video on that actually soon. I'll rewatch it. That's an idea. Now that I was just going like through a bunch of found footage titles earlier today when I was making my list, I'm like, oh yeah, that one, this one, because I did a lot of my favorite found footage movies like early on in the channel, like the first few weeks. No, Professor, I do not think I have ever seen that. It's found footage? Because that sounds interesting. Oh yeah, that's what I mean when I say I'll always defend the acting in that movie, despite me not liking watching it. Like the acting's great in that movie. Oh yeah, I know, dude. I know you love found footage. Is that where we met originally too, on the found footage subreddit? That's where I met Aaron Irons, who directed Chest, who sent me the screener for that, and I loved that movie and was talking about it everywhere. Yeah, Mav, we just me and May had it on in chat and stuff. Awesome movie. Like I haven't seen it. I just saw it recently, like 7 months ago. And I'm a slasher guy. Like that's like my main thing. And I heard of it back then, and I just never got around to it. And then I saw it like 7 months ago. I was like, this and the sequel. I said, these are fucking great. If these would have came out a few years afterwards, they would have blew up like Terrifier did. The kills are on point. Like so on point. Indeed, very gory, which I love. The gorier, the better. No, I mean, there's movies that doesn't have gore that I think should have gore. There's movies that have gore that I feel didn't need gore at all in them, like to be effective. And then there's just movies that, like, kind of just you expect them to be just a gore fest, like completely. Which Cannibal Holocaust, I feel like more people don't like that movie because of the real animal kills than like being grossed out by any of the actual human carnage that happens in that movie. Like honestly, like that's what I think. Like I think more people hate that movie. People who haven't even seen Cannibal Holocaust say they hate it because of the animal stuff, which I understand. But still, I mean, it's a fucking movie. It's a different time. shit happened differently back then. Like, and it was in Italy, like different way of making movies back then. But people are more, their hearts bleed more for the animals in the movie than for like the characters of the story that are being ripped apart, like at the end of this movie. And that's like one of the first found footage movies ever, is Cannibal Holocaust. It's not a full on one, but it uses that whole concept like very, very well. Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, the other movie called Creep, it was from earlier. It was like 2005 or something, Professor. I know what you're talking about. It's been a while, but I know it came out before the found footage Creep. It was, I want to say like mid 2000s. Is what I want to say. Who knows if I'll be right or wrong. Creep. From 2003? Yeah, it's 2003. I got it out here on Tubi. That's one I got to rewatch. I remember liking that though. And I remember stumbling upon that a few times too when I'm looking for the other Creep. Did you see Chess, Dave? That movie that I was praising all last year until it finally got on Tubi and it got released? Because that is a great low budget found footage movie. Actually, where's my copy you sent me? Chest. Yeah. The director Aaron sent me the screenplay book and the Blu-ray. Because like I was promoting that movie hard when it since it came out because I loved it. Yeah, it's not for everybody. And it's not a great movie, but I had a lot of fun with it. Like absolutely. Like I feel that there's something. Maybe it has something to do. I know it has something to do with the fact that I love movies that have that myth angle to it, and how the myth was formed and everything, and all of that is handled so well in that movie. And for the budget that he used, which was not a lot, I had him on the channel for an interview early on in us meeting each other after I saw the movie. He knew how to write to his budget. Yeah, it's a decent movie, guys. If you ever want to check out as long as you have in your head and know that okay, this is a low budget amateur film. It was his first movie that he ever made. It was his directorial debut. Young guy trying to make it in the horror industry and stuff. But if you look at it from that angle, knowing that, and you're fine with all that, and you can just focus on the movie for what it is, I think it's very, very enjoyable. Yeah, for sure. And actually, it has decent acting in it too. I mean, there's some overacting and stuff too, like most found footage movies. But Grave Encounters, that's the reason why that's my second favorite. I don't think there's a bad performance in that whole movie. That Lance Preston is one of my favorite characters in a found footage movie. Top 3. So good. That's funny. And nothing else matters. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever compare anything to that because it was just completely insane. Terrible. You could film walls for an hour and 20 minutes. Some people. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is to me. And what blows my fucking mind is David Lynch is one of my favorite, not just directors, but favorite just people on earth, of all time. And he came out and praised Skinamarink, which I could see Lynch doing that. I mean, I can, but that annoys me. Just knowing that one of my fucking heroes liked that movie, praised that movie. Seriously? But I can see Lynch liking that type of movie, for sure. Because I mean, if you want just crazy out there stuff, Lynch goes there, absolutely. But it all has meaning to it. All of Lynch's work has meaning to it. Like there isn't a shot in a Lynch film or in Twin Peaks or anything that doesn't have meaning to it. That Lynch isn't showing you for a absolute definitive reason. The whole Skinamarink movie is just fucking bullshit. Just real. There's no other way for me to describe it, except for his curse. It's terrible. Like that's really it. Like I'm not the type of person to give a review on a movie like that because it's not a movie to me, like at all. Yeah, for sure, Hatchet. So glad you stopped by, man. As always. Well, there is always horror being talked about here, man. So yeah, I'm happy whenever I see you pop in. So definitely stop by. You're free tomorrow at uh, uh, work. All right, that should be good. It's still to this day when I plug my charger in when I'm running low on battery, it friggin' freezes the screen, which makes no sense. I have no idea why, and I want to look further into it. Well, let's see here what they said, what chat was talking about. But yeah, Hatchet Boy, I doubt you're here still, but thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, that's what I do every night, Dave. Like almost literally every night for years now. All I watch is like exclusively horror. Like a few horror movies, and I'm a night person. I'm up all night anyway, so I have like a longer night than usual. So I always just watch a few horror movies. What films are coming out now recently, like newest? We have Scream 10. Scream 10. Oh God, if we ever get to that number, I'm done with horror. Scream 6. No one really. Well, I don't care about that. Some people do. Is anyone excited for the new Scream? Sure, I'll put my bias for it aside for you guys. So I know a lot of people are very, very excited for it. I mean, I know a few people. I have a few friends with just full channels almost dedicated to Scream. So I mean, I'm excited for them. I'm excited for everybody who's a fan of the series that they're getting another one. I just can care less. Speaking of Psycho, May, I love Psycho. I just did like an hour plus video on the first Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's, which is one of those handfuls of perfect films for me. Who's Karen? And hey, Brandon, I didn't like the new trilogy at all. So like, I don't remember anyone's names or anything. Is she the daughter? I think she's the daughter, right? One played by I can't Judy Greer, or is that the Judy Greer's daughter? Yeah, Trenchcoat. I didn't see Scream 5 until like a month ago, maybe. Yeah, I've never liked the series at all. the first one has a few things that are good in it, but it's still not a movie I like at all. Like it's kind of like a running joke now between like friends of mine with channels and stuff. Is I'm just the guy who hates Scream. Is that I'm referred to as. I don't hate it. I just despise it. Like I really don't like it. But I've seen them all. Like I don't think I've seen Scream 3 since it came out in theaters. And I know I didn't see it in theaters because I would not go to theaters to see a Scream movie. I think I only saw that one once. 4 was better than any of the other sequels. 5 was fucking terrible, man. That movie was terrible. And the only reason I watched it finally was because Kevin Williamson's movie Sick came out, the COVID slasher on Peacock that we got a month ago. And I wanted to check that out because nothing Williamson does or has done works for me. Like very, very little. The Faculty is the only movie that he's written that I adore that movie. I adore The Faculty. Like something he was doing there, like just totally won me over with that movie. Everything else he's written, I don't like any of it. He just does not work for me. It's just like too much watered down Dawson's Creek, which makes sense because he created Dawson's Creek. All of that shit. Like it just does not feel like a slasher movie, Scream. And it's not a full-on parody. And it's not like a serious movie. Like it's not parody enough for me to look at it like that. And it's not serious enough that I can suspend disbelief for stupid things. So I can't take it seriously because it's not fully seriously. And it still has the meta stuff going on. It's so hard to describe. I've talked about it in my Scream 5 video and like my 7th video on the channel with Scream because a friend requested it. He wasn't happy with that video. Oh, okay, yeah. I love Judy Greer. I don't really remember Halloween Kills at all. I remember very little. I mean, Halloween is in my top 3 films all time, and the first horror film I ever saw. But as a franchise, besides Season of the Witch, which is my favorite sequel, and 4 and 6, and 2, I guess, but less than the others. Besides that, like they all just are all over the place. Like it's not a good franchise. Halloween is not a good franchise. Friday the 13th is so much more fun of a franchise for me. That like even the bad entries are still fun to an extent to watch. Maybe not Jason Goes to Hell, but I have a different take on that movie than most people. That's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy with anyone who gets to see the movies that they like. Obviously, we're all always going to have different opinions and different likes and dislikes and all that. That's why Halloween Ends. Like I stopped talking about it like a week after it came out, and the war zone that it was on Twitter and YouTube and everywhere. Like people sending death threats to people who hated it and people who liked it, sending death threats to people who hated it. It's like, dude, at the end of the day, they're just movies. Like, come on now. Like getting a little crazy here. Like a little insane. But that's how people were getting. Like it's crazy. I actually am, Brandon. I really want to see what they do to bring back John Kramer and Amanda. If it's some like stupid, like this is what we were afraid of, Saw fans were afraid of with Jigsaw when it came out in 2017, was that if they're going to try to explain away that John is alive and that Jigsaw is alive somehow, or he has a twin, or like something stupid like that, I was going to be furious during Jigsaw. Then luckily it wasn't anything like that. Same thing here applies. Like if it's like they're ghosts or some shit, that's not flying with any Saw fan. But I'm interested to see. And what gives me the most hope is having I can never say his name right. I always say Gertrude, and that's not right. Grittert or something like that, his last name. The guy who directed 6 and 7 is returning to direct this one. That gives me the most hope for it. So I am excited. That's probably one of my more anticipated movies of the year. That, Evil Dead Rise, and Maxine for sure is like definitely up there. I controversially think Urban Legends a lot better than Scream, but I'm usually attacked when I mention this. Yeah, that's right. I get attacked anytime I say I don't like Scream. Not every time, but it happens. I have a lot of unpopular opinions when it comes to horror, man. Like, it really does. I really do. Original Halloween 2 and H2O. H2O, I don't care for that much. But I feel if they ended the whole franchise at H2O, perfect. We wouldn't have all the terribleness that we've gotten since then. We wouldn't have Kung Fu, Busta Rhymes, Idiot, that whole stupid movie. We wouldn't have gotten. I mean, the remakes don't matter. Like Zombies remakes, they still could have happened at any point. But if they ended like the whole main franchise, excluding a remake, we didn't need anything after H2O. We really didn't. And even though I don't care for H2O as much, it's still, I would take how they portray Laurie and how Jamie Lee Curtis plays Laurie in that movie so much better than in Halloween, the new trilogy. Like, she just seems like they really do well with her guilt and trauma in H2O. I will give it that. Like, they do a very good job. That's to the point that she's a borderline alcoholic and she's seeing Michael in reflections of storefronts and mirrors and like seeing him behind every corner. Like, they do a phenomenal job at showing and portraying how just terrified she is. And she's nothing like that in the new trilogy. She's kind of just like, well, shit happened back then, and haha, we're good now. We're gonna go save the town. Like, I don't know. Mike knows what I'm talking about in here. He's better with putting the Laurie stuff into words. I enjoy this. Yeah, it really doesn't do anything for me. Anything from this last trilogy. 2018, if I had to say, is my favorite out of the three, but I should dislike Urban Legends. Yeah, Urban Legends, all right. It's definitely better than all the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequels and Scream sequels and all the other movies that got brought in by Scream. That's fine, man. I know a lot of people liked it. It just did not work for me at all. Or Kills or 2018. Like, I didn't like any of the but then again, I love Rob Zombie's H2, which is hated. So that's why I love discussing movies and any type of media, because I love how different everybody is. Like, everyone has different opinions and tastes, and I love that. And I love when people get to experience the things they love. So even though I'm not a Scream fan, like, I have channels, friends of mine with channels where all they talk about is Scream. Like, it never ends. It's just Scream talk. But it's like, well, good. I'm happy for them. Like, they're excited for their new franchise. I mean, with their new entry, that's great. It just doesn't. I don't care, like, personally, like, at all. Like, no, like, I'll do a video on Scream 6 like next year, like, is when I'll get to it. Like, maybe I'll do it like early, but not too interested at all. I mean, I could see that being, if they handled it in, like, any other way than how they did. Like, I just don't like, and Halloween Ends feels like not a full movie. It just feels like an epilogue thrown onto the end of Kills. It doesn't feel like a movie, and then they wait till the third installment in this new trilogy to introduce the kid who is like the evil person now. I don't even remember what happens in Ends, to be honest. It was so bad. Like, that, me and Mike watched it like at the same time the night it dropped. Oh, it was so bad. And then we talked about it for like 2.5 hours, ripping it apart. That's not one I'll watch again, like, anytime soon. I know that. Yeah, I touched on most of that, but I do like the idea of him. Like, that's kind of what they went for with the Thorn cult. It's kind of like they were trying to get past the curse of the Thorn onto Luke. Well, it's never really clear what they it makes it seem like they want to pass it on to the baby of Jamie. Then they make it seem like they just want to give it to Loomis, because then Loomis gets the tattoo at the end of 6, which I love Halloween 6, but I know it's not a favorite of most people. They kind of went down that route. But you're right. If they would have like went further and like maybe like someone has to take on the burden of being Michael Myers after like decades and stuff. There's cool ways they can do it. I just don't think they did a good job like with much in these three movies, these most recent trilogy. I heard that Soax will be playing between. See, that's what I was thinking to myself. Because I was saying that would be like the most logical explanation for me, with that it would be taking place before Saw 3. Like, even if they wanted to make it like it's a third movie all taking place at the same time as 3 and 4, like they take place at the same time, and like make this a third scenario that was going on, like whatever. Like they have a lot of options, but that would be the one that I thought of first. Like was like, all right, it's going to take place before 3 for sure because he's dead by the end of that. They both are, and that's pretty much like the least information we have. Because I'm a huge Saw fan. I don't know about you, Brandon, but I love the whole series. Like I just finished covering all the series. I love it. Like it's one of my favorite horror franchises. Just and I don't really like love the traps. Like that's not why I watch Saw. It's for the story. Like the story is pretty remarkable. Like for people who aren't big Saw fans, I get it. But and they'll say it's convoluted and stuff. I understand that, and it can be. You know, like what are the chances of this all working out perfectly? You know, I tear things like that apart in every video I do. But like when it comes to just accepting that those chances are there and that it can happen that way, just the way that it's all intertwined, that story throughout the first 7 movies especially, and how they make it, if you watch them back to back to back, it seems like they were written like with this whole one story arc in place. But we know that they were just written every year and like released every year, which I think is absolutely remarkable. And like a big thing with me is continuity. Like when I see continuity being broken in either in a movie or in the franchise, like they replace and recast a character. I mean, it's what are you gonna do? But it still bothers me. Or like if you see like a glass of milk someone's holding is full, and then the next shot it's like empty and then it's full again. It's like that bothers me. Like I point that out all the time in videos. But I'm reading somebody's thing here. Oh, the elevator scene in Halloween 2. Yeah, there's some good stuff in Halloween 2. I just don't like the whole, and I don't like just a lot of movies. Like hospital. I figured it was a big. Love people like the pain, attention are fantastic. Like for flash dead corpses for like 10 seconds or less. 5 seconds, 3-second shot. That, that's dedication, man. Hey, Cass. Hey, Cass. Sorry, guys. After usually like 3 hours is when my battery starts to go low, and then every time I see it hit red, I'll plug it in, and then it pauses for a second. Hey, Cass. Nice to see you. And Slaughter. I mean, I wouldn't call Breaking Bad horror. It's more just like a thriller show, a drama. But it's one of my favorite shows of all time. I'll tell you that. Breaking Bad is a masterpiece. This is the comment I wanted right here. Rob Zombie's H2 is one of the best slashers the last 2 decades. That movie's so underrated. It's gritty, raw, violent, so realistic as to how trauma actually affected her. Yeah, like 100%. Like I put it in the same regard. I love H2. Like it is like Michael is brutal in that movie. The kills are brutal in that movie. Like it almost reminds me of Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers, because that was a dark movie too. And he was pissed off then too in that film. But I love H2. And people, yeah, the white horse shit is stupid. And him talking, him saying the word, like the word or two he says, whatever. I mean, at this point, why not? It's like, well, it's like people flip out if like their silent killers speak a word. I'm fine with it. Like I really don't mind. So that was fine with me too. But it's a brutal fucking slasher. Like I absolutely love H2. Kill myself. Dude, that's so funny. I just did a watch of that recently, like a month ago or something. So funny. That is such a great movie. That's one of my favorite horror comedies. Nice, man. Yeah, I remember seeing them every year in the theaters. It was like a fucking event. It was like every year, like right before Halloween. Be like, all right, a new Saw movie for like for years at a time, just going on each year, new one. Like I really feel the first 7 movies like are perfect together. I'm not saying they're perfect movies, like at all, but like the story, just the whole 7 movies contained like this, flow so perfectly that it was perfect. They never had to make Jigsaw. But when they made Jigsaw, I liked it. Then I watched it again, and I really liked it. And on this last rewatch, I pretty much now I could say that one's included in the story and like in the rest of the franchise. Spiral. I just rewatched yesterday. I liked it a lot more than I remembered because I only saw it once when it released. The biggest things for me with Spiral was just Chris Rock being a big stand-up comedy fan. It was so hard for me to watch some of his performance, and that's what I remembered from the first time not liking about it. Because sometimes he's doing all right, and sometimes he's just full on Chris Rock from like his from one of his HBO specials, and it's like takes me right out of it. It's like, all right, that was all right, but oh, dude, that's so Chris Rock right there. Like, it's so hard to separate them. Like Chris Rock from his character of Zeke in the movie. Like that and the voice of Jigsaw is stupid. Hello, I want to play a game. I'm like, what the fuck was that? What were they thinking? That was so bad. And it's not like any other voice besides like Jigsaw's from the other movies would have been an issue too. If they came up with a cool sounding one, that'd be fine. But the one that they came up with was awful, man. Like, what a bad voice. Hey, Echo's back in here. What's up, Echo? And hey, Cass. I think I said it, but I might have been paused or frozen at the time. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day or night. Boy, what you drinking? I'm not drinking anything. Oh, when I drank there? Yeah, soda. Vanilla Coke that I grabbed at the gas station like 3 hours ago. I forgot all about it. But now I got it, and I'm happy. Because vanilla Coke is the best Coke. And the best soda. It's my favorite soda. And I don't drink a lot of soda nowadays. But vanilla Coke all the way. So I think I'm going to end this because it's like 3 hours going on. So that's the fucking reason. Time to go. But thanks guys for everyone for coming out. Thanks for joining in the chat. May, so cool that you were watching along. I'm glad it's gonna give you nightmares and shit tonight. I'm kidding. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. It is crazy. So that's 2 for 2 there. So next thing you do is look at some of my list videos from recently, my top 10s and stuff, and pick stuff you haven't seen. Then you can go check those out on your own and be like, oh shit, that JT knows his movies. You too, Dave, man. It's good to see. I just said to Chris, Chris Carpenter from Your Day too, starting with me and stuff on the channel. It was good seeing you both in a live stream chat. Like really, really awesome. Like so, as always, man. I love you for being around since the beginning, almost pretty much. So for sure. Thanks for stopping by, man. Philip, you too, buddy. Anytime, man. You guys bring the fun time. I'm just blabbering old mate. Take care, guys. Take care, May. Take care, Philip. Take care, everybody else. Anyone in the hood. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks, Trenchcoat. I'll talk to you guys soon. And I have a few videos up. I know my Cube video is premiering right after this. So if you like Cube, stick around. You'll see that. Take care.